thank the Royal Newfoundland Regiment and Lieutenant Colonel Hatfield. Thank you for what you're doing. I do have a connection. My great-grandparents are from Old Perlican, and grandparents were born and raised in St. John. Then they go down to Boston. Uncle served. He was number 84 in the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, World War I. He was hurt in Gallipoli. Got dysentery and trench foot and a few other things. He was evacuated to hospital. He was in hospital at the time of the battles in and around the Somme, and of course the Battle of Beaumont-Hamel. And so he survived. He's one of the very few from the original regiment that survived. I've always been proud of his service. Another uncle served in the Massachusetts 26th Division. It was his brother. Also World War I, he was wounded at the Meuse-Argonne in that American offensive. But you talk about the fighting spirit, and you talk about what those guys went through back then in World War I. And then you ask yourself, from 1914, from the beginning of World War I to 1945, the end of World War II, 150 million people worldwide were killed in the conduct of war. And it's an unbelievable catastrophe on a global scale. And it was only due to the fighting spirit of people like those that fought in this regiment, American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Canadian pilots, British troops, etc. It's only because of their fighting collective spirit that we're free today. And it's only because of them that we've had 8 consecutive decades of great power peace. And we should always remember, and we should never forget, we should always remember their sacrifice, and we should always try to live up to their sacrifice and their fighting spirit. So I would tell you that 8 consecutive decades is not quite a record. There was 2 periods in European history before where there were international orders put in place, and each one lasted about 100 years. So we're in the 8th decade, and it may require the fighting spirit yet again. So what that means for us, those of us in uniform, is we must focus on our competence, our capabilities, our readiness, and our lethality, because none of us will ever know whether we get called again. We won't know that moment in time, but when we do, we have to have that fighting spirit. I salute the regiment. I salute my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents who come from this great island. I'm extraordinarily proud of this place. I'm extraordinarily proud of their service, and I'm extraordinarily proud of the regiment as it exists right now. So thank you very much for having me here.